You're listening to Workforce Innovation News, powered by WIOA 23. Get ready to hear about all things workforce development and workforce innovation. And now, on to the episode.
Hello and welcome to WIN Workforce Innovation News. I am Jamie Hajawi, the director for WIOA 23, and I have the lovely Laurie Jennings here with me today. She is the director of WIOA at CEFS, and we have an amazing time working together. Thank you for being here today, Laurie. How are you?
I am great, Jamie. Thanks for having me this morning.
It's good to see you. I know we've seen a lot of each other the last few days, more than usual, but it is always a pleasure to see you again.
We have. Looking forward to working with you this morning.
Awesome. So today I just wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about exactly what WIOA 23 is and how we work with CEFS, and kind of show people that we are a team. While we do different things, we do a lot of the same things and we work together often. So can you start out by telling me a bit about what you do at CEFS, what CEFS does in general for the communities, that kind of thing?
Sure, be happy to. First of all, CEFS, we are a not-for-profit agency. We develop, we implement, and evaluate different social service programs where we can better assist those people maybe economically disadvantaged, helping them in their quest mainly for self-sufficiency. So we offer programs and services pretty much as diverse as the people we serve in the communities. There are a number, besides WIOA, with CEFS, there are a number of different programs available. We have housing and weatherization, Head Start, which works from birth to 5 years of age, the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, Meals on Wheels, outreach programs, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, Central Illinois Public Transit, and then also the WIOA program. So we pretty much will serve anyone from birth through the senior population. So a variety of services that we bring to the table.
That's pretty amazing. You guys do definitely go beyond just workforce and really help out the community as a whole from many different aspects. So how long have you been with CEFS, if you care to tell us, and what do you get out of your job? How does it make you feel?
I have been with CEFS for 28 years. I've always been involved in the workforce program. So, when I started with the agency, I started with JTPA. So throughout these years, I've seen a lot of changes in the workforce system itself. As far as maybe technology, how things have changed. Even our customers have changed, throughout the years. I think the biggest satisfaction I get from my job is knowing we are helping people. The big motto with the Community Action Agency is helping people, changing lives. And that's what we do every day. Sometimes we don't always see those changes in people's lives, but we know the work we're doing is good work. And the outcomes for a lot of these people, it is life-changing. We might take a single parent that maybe never thought about going back to school, could afford that. We can step in and help with all those services, to help them, get a degree. So it's very, satisfying hearing those stories from our customers, how much, it has benefited them. And without the services, across the board, they would never have been able, to make, meet their goals, and follow their dreams.
That's amazing. That is really cool. So what resources do you have as far as WIOA goes for those people who are looking for a job? So those single parents who know that they need to do something a little bit better to be able to provide for their family, how do you help them? What resources do you have for them?
For, a lot of, the people coming into our offices, they might not know what they want to do. So we do have, if they're just looking for a job, we have the job boards available to them. We have our resource rooms in all of our county offices where they can go in, do job search assistance. We can help preparing a resume for those people, doing mock interviews, just some job skills training. We kind of assess, what their needs are. And then we also have, people that know exactly what they want to do. Maybe they want to go back to school and be retrained. So we start that process with them. And just a variety, I mean, it's kind of individual, based on what their needs are, what their wants are. We can kind of fine tune it to, what they're looking for.
Very cool. I think that's a really good approach to take because there are so many different needs out there, and there's not a one size fits all program that's going to help everybody across the board. The key word that we're hearing everywhere these days is equity, and we can't treat everybody exactly the same because some people need more help than others and they need different kinds of help. So it's really cool to hear that you do look at it from an individual perspective to see what their unique needs are and help them reach their goals with whatever tools or services that they specifically need. So
Yeah.
You are doing good work. That's awesome.
Well, and I tell our case managers too, I said, we have to meet, our customers where they're at. Everyone that comes into our office has their own unique story to tell. Why are they coming into our office? Maybe it's, an emergency type situation, or, they just want a life change, so there's any number of reasons, there might be trauma involved, just a variety of things happen in people's lives that bring them to us. So, that's what we're here for, and take it by assessing their needs. There's a lot of challenges, maybe some obstacles they need to overcome before they can go into training. So, we look at the whole picture.
So these people who are usually socioeconomically disadvantaged, they've gone through some trauma, maybe they're just in a place in life where they don't even necessarily know what they need. They just know they need something. Where do they start? What do you recommend is the first thing for them to do to get started with CEFS and to find that right pathway for them?
Well, I think a lot of that starts with our case managers, as they're talking, with people, they'll ask questions and bring up, different, as far as, housing, transportation, childcare. Do you have enough food? Paying utilities, things like that. So at that point we can, making referrals, to different agencies, if necessary. So, and a lot of times we don't have all the answers, but we have enough partners in the community where we can reach out to them, for those difficult situations that, maybe we can't address. But there are people that we can ask and get services, for the people that are coming in the offices.
Right. So when you are referring them to other agencies, what is it that you're usually referring them for?
Usually when we refer our customers to other agencies, it's maybe help with rent assistance, utility bills. Sometimes it's to the food pantries. We might be referring them to counseling services, the health departments. We have a lot of young mothers, that might be able to receive, assistance through the health department. It's just kind of a wide range of services, just based upon what their needs are.
That is awesome. So there's this network of support there. You guys can offer a whole lot to them, but the few things that you can't, you do have established agencies that are able to jump in and be able to help support that individual so that they could reach their goals, right?
Exactly. Most of the counties, we have interagency meetings where, we're sitting around the table with different service providers, social service agencies, where we can round table, and we go around the table and, each program is telling, hey, this is a new service available. This is, this is what we've got going on right now. We need referrals. So it's a big networking unit. We all come together, and like I said before, we might not have all the answers, but we know a contact person within our communities where we can reach out to them, and maybe they don't have the answers, but they can send us to the person that will be able to help.
Very awesome. Too cool. So Lori, when you and I work together, it's not normally just for the individual, but we're also working together for employers, and we're giving them resources.
Wow.
Can you tell our audience a bit about what resources we offer to employers?
Well, to the employers, we have a variety of programs and services, that we can provide to them. Number one, I think a lot of times employers, they're just looking for employees. Right now, we're going through where a lot of the employers in the area, they're hurting for people. They are, marketing their businesses and companies in whatever way they can. We do have our job boards within our offices where we can post those job openings. We can send referrals to those employers. If we've got skilled, qualified customers, we can send their way. We also, for a lot of the employers, they like to have these job fairs. So we make our offices available where they can come in, take applications for the day, and even do on-site interviews if necessary. We also do, we have on-the-job training programs available where, the employers, they get hands-on training. We pay to offset the training costs because it is expensive to train new employees. It's very, it takes a lot of time to do that. It gives them the opportunity to train employees their way. And we're also investing in those businesses with them. We also have incumbent worker training where this can help companies just upgrade the skills of existing employees, and we can help offset the cost of the training for that. And also it gives them access to customized training. So let's say, a company, they have new software that's made available to them, or maybe a new piece of equipment, in the plant. They've got to get their employees trained on that. So through the incumbent worker training program, they now have the funding available to assist with that. Work experience, usually it's our youth that are on work experience, and it's a short-term work experience program where these young people basically learn how to work, those soft skills needed, how to show up on time, following direction, getting along with coworkers. So they can do that from 6 months to a year. So they're allowed to work 29 hours a week. And a lot of times it's just getting those kids, something to put on an application, just exposing them, that first time, to work.
So when you say youth, my brain kind of goes, my pre-WIOA brain anyway, goes to middle school kids, young kids. What does WIOA mean when they say youth?
Our youth program is broken down in school and out of school youth. So our in-school youth program is ages 16 through 21. Our out of school youth is 16 through 24. So, there's a variety of, not only the work experience program, but they have the capability to go into on-the-job training, and also, maybe go on to vocational training if they're interested in, completing, a 1 or 2 year degree program.
So that's a really great demographic to be reaching out to. In my experience, I hear from employers so often that, a major skills gap is just employability or soft skills, getting people to show up to work on time, getting them to understand how to be professional and have a certain etiquette in the workplace. And the best way to do that, to make a difference in there, is to reach the workforce as they are budding, as they are getting ready to enter the workforce. So that sounds really cool that we can get these young adults, these 16 to 24-year-olds, into some hands-on experience where they're learning just how to work, how to behave in the workplace. that in itself is a great benefit to the individual, to the employer, and to the workforce in general. But how does that work? What would incentivize a business, an employer, to hire on a young adult and to mentor them through this whole soft skills type training?
I think for a lot of, they do realize that it's a training program. They understand, this is the upcoming, workforce. If they are helping train, these young people, as far as giving them the skills that they need to continue on, throughout their lives, and a lot of these employers, they not only will, start with work experience, but, if they complete work experience, and they've had a good experience with these young people, we might move them into on-the-job training. And a lot of our employers, they hire our youth after that work experience period. So I think they see the benefit because they're able to train those young people the way they want to train them. They're giving them those necessary skills, where they've worked maybe a certain task, and, and then continuing giving them more responsibility, as the time on work experience goes on. So I think it's a lot of them, it's just they're investing in their future of their businesses and, the future workforce.
Excellent point. They are getting kind of first dibs on a brand new talent pool, and they're able to shape and mold them and develop potentially loyalty from that employee, and have that employee then progress with them. And that's really cool. And then they can transfer from that youth program into maybe an incumbent worker program, and they can continue to get additional training and education to rise up within that company. So like you said, CEFS serves anyone from 0 through senior status, and even just the WIOA part. I mean, we're starting with those youth at 16, and we can follow them up through their entire career almost till they get to where they want to be. That's amazing.
You are exactly right.
So especially this youth program, this youth program for employers, how would they get started with us to be a work site and be able to host those youth workers?
Most of the time, we are out in the communities trying to touch base with a lot of the employers. But any of the employers could contact, we have local offices. We have 13 counties. We have offices in 7 of those. They could contact any of our county offices. They could give me a call. Be happy to explain, the program a little bit further to them. We could send out some informational, packets, kind of explaining what the programs are. The easiest way is go to the CEFS website. I know you've given that out before, but it is www.cefseoc.org, or you can call me, or probably email me at ljennings@cefseoc.org, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
With your experience, is this a good time for people to be looking for work, and a good time for employers to be making some changes to get more people to work?
I think now is definitely a great time. There are employers that are desperately needing the help. So there are jobs available. There are training opportunities available. Maybe, somebody wants to, they've worked in one field, but they want to go into another field. Now's the time, to go back to school and start thinking about maybe retraining, for a different profession. So definitely, I think there are lots of opportunities out there. It's just going out and finding out, what those opportunities are and what's available to them. Did I answer all your questions, or was there?
You did. So with the current environment state of the workforce, this is a good time, you're saying, because the resources that we have for the job seekers. They have their pick of the board. They have resources to help them get training and education and potentially a new endeavor. And then it's a good time for employers as well, because we do have these resources available to them to give them some flexibility and to mitigate some risk for them to try new things, to implement some new programs so that they can incentivize people to come work for them and to stay with them as well. So,
well, and I think a lot of the employers, they're kind of taking a look at, the whole, hiring process, and how they're doing that. We see the increase in minimum wage, but also the incentives a lot of these companies are offering, to new hires. A lot of the companies, that we've talked to, they're building in those soft skill programs. So there's a lot happening within, a lot of the businesses in the area, which makes it a very appealing, for, to go to work at a lot of these places.
there is. So there's hope. There's glimmers of hope. I hear a lot of pessimistic outlooks, but what people are forgetting is that we have these wonderful services, both for job seekers and for employers. So there's hope that we can assist and support both sides of the road in being successful.
Most definitely. And I think, we talked about this the other day as far as, with the pandemic and how, we're just now coming out of this. We're kind of in this rebuilding phase, and, what might have worked a couple of years ago, it's not working right now. So, we're looking at, new avenues, different things, how we can better serve our customers, how we can provide, the things that they need the most. And I think employers are doing the same. They're just, you have to look at it, in a different perspective right now.
You are absolutely right. Well, Laurie, I have enjoyed having this little chat with you. It's been fun. And I love to hear all the ways that you guys are helping people. I know and I see it, but I sometimes get very narrow focus. So it's good to have this refresher that you're doing so many other things than just the few things that we talk about.
Jamie, it was great being with you today. And, I hope to continue, sharing more information with you, and looking forward, to some additional podcasts and finding out what you have next, what's lined up next.
I keep pushing for this careers, coffee, and chaos thing, but no one really wants to jump on that one. And we got to come up with something for that, don't we?
We can definitely come up with something, but we have some other ideas in the works. We are going to be, talking in the next few weeks with a former customer. And so she's going to give us a little bit. She was on work experience, and, this has been many, many years ago, but just how it has impacted her life and, where she is today. So I'm excited about, talking with her, and as she shares her story.
I'm thrilled for that one. That's going to be very, very interesting. I'm excited too.
Great.
Well, it's been a joy. I will talk to you later.
You've been listening to Workforce Innovation News powered by WIOA 23. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about WIOA 23, visit lwa23.net.